So I did something that I've never done before, which is order a 4Runner online without ever seeing it in person. And it was a little bit of a gamble, but it actually worked out pretty well. I've been searching for a 4Runner for probably about a year or so, and finally came across one that fit the criteria I was looking for, was delivered just fine, and got it last week. And here are the initial impressions and look at it in person. There are definitely a few surprises that I wasn't expecting. So here we go. We're going to walk around. We're going to take a look at some of the surprises and see what you think. Some things I know a little bit about, some things I have no idea about. So if you know about a few of these things, go ahead and let me know in the comments. So here we are looking at the front of the 4Runner, and initially, first thing that I noticed is that the front grille is different. This is a 2018 TRD Off Road, and the front grille has been replaced with the Toyota lettering. There's also some Raptor lights, the 3 front Raptor lights. Another thing that I noticed is that these tires are not the actual tires that are stock tires. These are Terra Grappler G2s, 285/70 R17, which means these are basically 33-inch tires. In order to get 33-inch tires, there is a lift on this. And if you look close, that is a Bilstein 5100 shock, which means I think that is a 2.5-inch lift, which was not very apparent on the initial photos. In order to make these 285s not rub, you can see that it's not only lifted, but the front is cut. So that is called a Viper cut. You can kind of see right here, it is actually cut, and there's a seam that's put on there. So that completely changes the front of how that looks. And there is no rubbing on that tire. Improves the approach angle. So that is awesome. This is actually a very dirty vehicle right now. About a day after I got it, there was a big snowstorm, which actually I'm very glad to have had this during that snowstorm, because this went right through at least a foot of snow with no problem. We also have front tinted windows, which I know is not standard. Here we have these. Now these, I noticed, are not rock rails. They are just running boards because they are bolted to the body and not the frame. They would be bolted here if it was actually rock rails, but these are running boards. But I actually kind of like those tubes with the step on there. It's pretty cool. On the top, there's the rack, but there's no rack rails, so that's something that'll need to be changed. A few other things I noticed: no spare tire, just an empty rim. So that's kind of a bummer. We'll have to get that taken care of. Something that we also noticed looking around are these lights. LED lights on the underside, which actually don't work. We have to figure that out. If you look up here, there's this LED light, and we have to figure out how that works also. Here's the Viper cut on this side. It's actually a nice, fairly nice clean cut. And you can see there's just There's so much extra room here for this tire. So much extra room. You can have so much snow and mud and whatever all caked on there, and there's going to be no rubbing there at all. So first off, you can notice that this is a button that is not a stock button. That is added on, and that button actually does not work, and we're going to look under the hood and figure that out. A few other cool things. Those are LED lights there. That's a red light. This is not the premium version, which I was specifically looking for not a premium version, and I can go over reasons why maybe in a different video. But let's pop the hood and see what is under there. So first off, you can see this giant thing. This is a giant air filter. So this is a high performance air filter meant for driving in dusty, dirty areas. Cleans out the air for the air intake to the engine. So whoever had this first must have been out in desert, dry, dusty places. Okay, here's a battery. It's a Die Hard Gold, which is a very good battery. You can see here that there are, on this terminal, there's some wires that are actually cut. So those are accessory wires. So whoever had this also had some accessories that they removed before selling it. Going down in here, you can see right here, this is where that red button is on the inside. There's a bunch of cut wires. Those wires probably led to each individual light underneath the wheel wells and probably to the front Raptor lights. Yeah, right here. See those? That's where the Raptor lights connected. So whoever had this cut that. But that should be something that we should be able to fix. I'm looking at the fuse box here. Okay, this is another accessory of some sort, and actually leads to a cut wire. Okay, so that's another accessory that we'll have to figure that out and see. So over by this air filter, there are a few cut wires here. This probably leads to the under lights on this side, which we should be able to splice those and get those working again. It's actually not bad. It actually looks really nice and clean. Everything looks good. Oh, another thing to notice here is the top hood scoop. So this, you can see this is just regular metal. It's very reflective, but there's this sticker over the hood intake, and that is a dull matte, so that doesn't reflect into your eyes while driving. So overall, I'm really happy with this 4Runner. It is very, very awesome. It drives great, better than I expected, especially with that lift and new suspension. It goes right through deep snow with no problem at all, which is exactly what I wanted. Although it was a little bit unnerving to buy a vehicle online without actually seeing it in person, I think those are the days that we live in. If you are interested in an additional video that outlines all of the reasons why I was looking for a TRD Off Road, let me know and I can make a video about that. All right, thank you, bye.